Throughout the Resident Evil series, there have been some terrifying monsters. From the general undead to experiments in mutations, these creatures have left a lasting impression in the minds of players. I have compiled what I believe to be the top 5 scariest monsters in Resident Evil. Remember, these are all subject to opinion, so don't bite my head off or I'll bite your ugly face. Itchy. Tasty. Vertigo makes this list mainly due to the atmospheric tension building up to his appearance, the dark, claustrophobic sewer system, not to mention the first-person scare of Vertigo bashing into the door, which is a great allusion to the hunters in Resident Evil 1, sets a perfect tone of actually being the prey to this strange creature. Not to mention, the overall design of Vertigo is quite frightening, resembling a mixture between a praying mantis and a scorpion. It is for these reasons that I rank him at number 5. Known as the Suspended, or the Regis Liquor, little is known about the origin of this nasty creature. Appearing in the Apple Inn Hotel in Outbreak, she blocks a crucial exit to evacuation. While not entirely difficult, the Suspended makes it to this list based on her grotesque model. While not as deformed as other creatures, it's her lingering humanity mixed with her subtle and not so subtle deformations that make her terrifying. It is these qualities that earn her the number 4 spot. Look, everyone knows the Regenerators would be on this list. They make it onto every similar list, and for good reason. They're gross. They carry on despite having limbs blasted off. And that's just their physical aspects. The psychological aspects of these things are even worse. When you first walk in a room with them, there is no music. Only the jarring sounds of their struggled breathing. When you finally build up the nerve to find and fight it, the discombobulating music plays. Afterwards, there's nothing more creepy than blowing all 5 limbs off a Regenerator, just to be attacked by a torso with teeth. This nasty creature ranks in at number 3. Nosferatu is creepy. Not only in appearance, but also his origin. The father, or creator, of Alfred and Alexia Ashford. He creates the two by using DNA of his relative, Veronica Ashford, and merges it with an intelligence gene. Eventually, Alfred found out that him and his sister were not real children, but instead were test subjects. He snapped, locked his father up, and experimented on him as recompense. Alexander eventually became the grotesque creature known as Nosferatu, hell-bent on killing anything in his path once released. His appearance is quite disturbing. With his arms tied behind his back, he attacks with several tentacles erupting from his body. His eyes are covered, meaning he seemingly has a way to sense, perhaps enhance hearing. He has developed a poisonous gas in his body as well. It is for his chilling backstory and gruesome appearance that he ranks in at number 2. As for honorable mentions, 3 come to mind. Nemesis remains ingrained in the minds of players everywhere, as a staple of the series. It, or the U3, surprised players everywhere with its sudden appearance in Resident Evil 4. It made players scared to traverse the hanging cargo containers where it lurked and stalked. The glass made players in Resident Evil Revelations 2 fearful of advancing too quickly, as rushing through the game can end with the person playing being one-shotted by these invisible enemies. I may be a little biased here, but I for one cannot stand the Leechmen. For starters, they just look gross. They're slimy and disgusting as a whole. Secondly, if the best way to describe the Regenerator's music is unnerving, the music for the Leechmen induces pure panic. To me, Resident Evil 0 is one of the hardest in the series, so it definitely doesn't help that these things are basically bullet sponges. In fact, I could never even kill the things, even with the Molotovs. It got to a point where if I walked into a room and heard the music, I turned around and left immediately, putting it off for as long as I could. It also didn't help that these guys popped up in the most claustrophobic areas imaginable, such as hallways, catwalks, and bathrooms. To me, the psychological terror the Leechmen invoke makes them the scariest creature in Resident Evil. Just want to take a moment and thank you all for watching my top 5 scariest Resident Evil monsters. If you're interested, I'm leaving a link to a related Resident Evil playlist. Be sure to comment what you think the scariest Resident Evil creature is, and subscribe for future content. Have a great day, guys. Kaiga knocks out.